A mysterious gift arrived every Valentine's. The final one changed everything. Eliza had come to expect the arrival of the crimson rose on Valentine's Day. A single, velvety bloom, always perfectly formed, always accompanied by a small, anonymous card. No signature, only a cryptic, single-word message. The first, at age 16, read, Hope. The following years delivered, Dream, Believe, Imagine, and so on. Each felt like a subtle nudge, a whisper of encouragement in the face of teenage angst and blossoming adulthood. Now, at 25, Eliza was a successful artist, her canvases filled with vibrant landscapes echoing the very dreams she had been encouraged to chase. The yearly rose had become a comforting, almost ritualistic part of her life, a silent promise kept by a secret admirer. She'd tried to uncover their identity countless times. Questioned florists, staked out her doorstep, even hired a private investigator for a brief, expensive, and ultimately fruitless pursuit. This year, Valentine's Day arrived with a flurry of snow and a familiar sense of anticipation. The rose, as vibrant as ever, lay waiting on her doorstep, its crimson petals a stark contrast against the white. She picked it up, her heart doing its familiar little flutter. But the card felt different, heavier. With trembling fingers, she opened it. Inside, a single word stared back at her, stark and bold, Remember. Remember? Eliza whispered, her brow furrowing. All the previous messages had been forward-looking, urging her on. This felt like a pull backward. Remember what? Her childhood? A long-lost love? A forgotten promise? Days turned into weeks as Eliza struggled to decipher the cryptic message. She went on a frantic journey through her past, sifting through memories like sand searching for gold. She revisited old haunts, reconnected with forgotten friends, even dug out her childhood diaries. Nothing. Then, one rainy afternoon, while rummaging through a dusty box in her attic, she stumbled upon a small, worn leather pouch. The pouch contained a handful of smooth, colorful stones, each painted with a different symbol. As a child, she and her best friend, Leo, had collected these stones, each representing a shared dream. They called them their dream stones. A wave of memory crashed over her. Leo. Her childhood confidant, her first love, the boy who had vanished without a trace when his family abruptly moved across the country. She hadn't thought of him in years. Suddenly, it clicked. The words on the cards weren't random. They were the names of the very dream stones she and Leo had collected. Hope. Dream. Believe. Imagine. It was all a coded message, a whisper from the past. But why now? Why remember? Driven by a sudden, almost desperate need, Eliza searched online for any trace of Leo. After hours of fruitless digging, she finally found him. He was a renowned architect, living in a small town nestled in the Scottish Highlands. The accompanying photograph showed a man she barely recognized, but the kind eyes were unmistakably Leo's. With a pounding heart, she booked the first flight to Scotland. The journey felt like a dream, a desperate culmination of 9 years of cryptic clues. She found him easily enough, his architectural firm a testament to the dreams they had shared as children. He was leaning over a blueprint when she walked in. He looked up, his eyes widening in surprise. Eliza, he breathed, his voice a low rumble. For a moment, they just stared at each other, years melting away. Then, he smiled, a gentle, familiar smile that tugged at her soul. I wasn't sure you'd remember, he said softly. Remember what? Eliza asked, her voice trembling. He pointed to a miniature replica of a grand cathedral, perched on a shelf behind him. Remember what we promised each other? That one day, no matter what, we'd build something beautiful together. Eliza's heart swelled. He had been the secret admirer all along, sending the roses as a reminder of their shared dreams, a way to stay connected across the distance. Why now? She asked, her voice thick with emotion. He looked at her, his eyes filled with a quiet sadness. I've been ill, Eliza. Nothing serious, but it made me realize, time is precious. I wanted to see if the spark was still there. If we could still build something beautiful. He paused, then reached into his pocket and pulled out a single, smooth stone, painted with a swirling design. The last stone, he said, his voice barely a whisper. Love. This Valentine's Day wasn't about remembering the past, Eliza realized. It was about building a future. A future where they could finally, after all these years, fulfill the dreams they had shared as children. The final rose, the final word, had changed everything. It wasn't just a reminder, it was an invitation. An invitation to love, to build, to dream again, together.